So good morning, everyone. I believe we are live on all our streaming platforms. My name is Kayla, and today's webinar is on how to start a tax school. It's going to show you how to grow your tax preparation business by creating a tax school. So the number one challenge possibly facing tax office owners would be how to get a qualified pool of tax preparers to work during tax season. So today's brief presentation will introduce you to Latino Tax Pro's Instructor Program, designed for tax preparers who want to grow their business. And at the end of this presentation, we're going to show you just how easy it is to get started right away with your new tax training business. So first of all, why partner with Latino Tax Pro? We are the only IRS Latino association that meets monthly with the IRS stakeholder liaison to learn the latest news and to provide the latest input, or to provide input on the latest issues. We are dedicated to serving the needs of the Latino community, and we know you are too. In our family of companies, Lopez Tax Service has been an education and tax preparation company for more than 35 years, growing to 6 offices and completing more than 9,000 tax returns this past tax season. Nationwide, tax preparers showed a 4% loss in completed tax returns, whereas we have shown a 4% increase, and we strongly believe this is due to our educational requirements for all our employees. And we will share with you these same proven methods that will help you grow your business as well. When partnering with Latino Tax Pro, your costs are reduced dramatically since we have multiple courses available. We have bilingual curriculum in English and Spanish. Textbooks, they're side-by-side English and Spanish as a reference guide. We offer support in both English and Spanish as well, and you can take advantage of our expertise and experience. We're going to train you to train your own employees based on the IRS guidelines. So today's agenda, we are going to cover these topics. We're going to start off with the why. Why should we start a tax school? The benefits of live training, the location and space where you can hold your class. And since we're currently in a global pandemic, I'm going to mention how to virtualize to meet the social distancing requirements, how to virtualize your tax training center as well. We'll talk about pricing, how to recruit students for your tax school, kind of what it takes to start a tax school from the ground up. We'll talk about the instructor materials that you receive, as well as what your students would be receiving with the program. I'm going to give you a look at a typical first day, kind of the stuff the organizational methods you want to go over the first day. We're going to talk about how you can track student progress. We'll talk about training to hire. And then at the end of the presentation, I'm going to plug the next webinar in 2 days on Thursday. I'll be giving a webinar on how to virtualize your training center. We're calling it how to operate your tax school during a pandemic. So, and again, I will plug that at the end. And you can also look for a registration link in the comments on this post. You should be able to find a Zoom registration link for that training on Thursday. So let's get back to business here. Why should you start a tax school? Success in the income tax preparation industry, as in any professional service business, depends on the availability of qualified personnel with the skills required to provide the level of service necessary so that you can remain competitive. So, a tax school is a great way to build a pool of potential entry-level tax preparers for your business growth. We found that a tax school allows you to train your staff your way and can reduce or even eliminate recruiting costs. Our tax school provides continuing professional education, or CPE credits, for NASBA. We also provide IRS continuing education, as well as CTEC, and our curriculum is qualified for EAs, CPAs, CTEC, AFSP, AFTR, RTRP, and unenrolled preparers. A well-trained staff delivers a higher quality service and is better equipped to prepare more profitable tax returns. How many times have you been stressed out during the busiest part of tax season? The last thing you need is someone asking you those really basic questions in the middle of a crazy season. And another great thing about starting a tax school is that you can generate off-season revenue and provide off-season employment to some of your key employees or instructors. And then a tax school also allows you to hire the best. So all the students that you attract to your tax school, you can kind of choose from them. You can consider kind of the class a weeks-long interview. You'll be able to observe how the student interacts with others, if they arrive on time, if they understand the material. Behavior in class can be an indicator of future employee performance. And also, once you get the needed professionals, once you recruit and hire them, annually, they must continue their training to grow professionally and keep abreast with the ever-changing tax laws. So the benefits of live training, there are tremendous benefits to offering live training in your office. A statistic for you, about 80% of individuals prefer live training to self-study, but since we are in the midst of COVID-19 and a global pandemic, live training doesn't necessarily mean you have to be in the same room. You can meet the needs of sheltering in place, social distancing, and staying safe and healthy during this global pandemic by transitioning your live in-person class to a virtual classroom. And all you need to use is a video conferencing tool. You may have heard of Zoom by now. That's a very popular one. But you can even host your class meetings through Skype or GoToMeeting. There are several different providers that you can look into. As a matter of fact, just the other day, Facebook announced that they're launching a tool, I think it's called Messenger Rooms, where you can host about, I think it's 50 people for an unlimited amount of time. So there's lots of options for you to go over. Excuse me. With live training, you are uniquely situated to offer bilingual education. Being a Latino Tax Pro instructor grants you access to wholesale pricing for any of the courses you purchase from us, which then you resell to your students at your retail price that you set yourself. So there's a margin for profit in that. You can provide approved IRS continuing education to train your staff your way, make money all year long, and recruit quality employees. So let's talk about physical space, as if we all went to congregate together and be in the same room. One important aspect of opening a tax school is the location and space to teach. You should consider offering your training in your office if you have the room. So a little bit of logistics for you here. A space of about 300 square feet can comfortably sit about 15 students. 800 square feet would fit about 30 students. But to let you know, to give you a better frame of reference, a lot of our successful instructors have class sizes of about 15 or so. It's a pretty good number to manage, but it is up to you, your expertise, your training, your experience, whatever you feel comfortable with, more or less. And when you're in that physical space, you should have enough room for students to spread out their materials. their books, their computers, their whatever they need. Your space should include desks or tables, some sort of writing board, whether it's a whiteboard or a chalkboard. It's helpful to have a projector screen so you can project the lesson plans we give you, the PowerPoints we give you. Also, so if you're thinking, well, that's great, but I don't have the space in my office, and you can consider other places to host your class. You can consider a local community center, a church, or even a library. Hotel conference rooms are also an option, but they tend to be pretty expensive, so you might want to consider that as a last resort. But also a benefit of virtualizing your training center is if you don't have the location within your office and you don't want to spend the money to rent a physical space, you can, for a low cost option, host your class virtually. So now let's talk about setting up a virtual live training center. So with our system, our hybrid system of online learning and in-person training, we can easily adapt that to meet the needs of those who are practicing social distancing. Currently, our instructor program is designed to give the in-person training with your students in the classroom. And then those students go and complete their coursework, their homework, their studying through their online portal. So to accommodate for that social distancing, all you need to do is host your in-person meetings virtually through that video conferencing software or providers that I spoke about a moment ago. Zoom, Skype, Google Hangouts is one, GoToMeeting. Yeah, as I mentioned recently, Facebook launched Messenger Rooms. It can host video meetings with up to 50 people for an unlimited amount of time. And I also read that you don't have to be a Facebook user. You don't have to have a Facebook in order to access it. In comparison to Facebook, Zoom's most basic free plan allows up to 100 people in a meeting for up to 40 minutes. And to give you a little frame of reference, here at Latino Tax Pro, we use Zoom for all our webinars and even internal meetings as well. So on Thursday, I will be giving a more in-depth training on how to virtualize your training center so that you can operate your tax school during this pandemic that hopefully will be contained soon. So if you look down in the comments, there should be a registration link for Thursday's webinar on how to operate your tax school during this pandemic. So go ahead and register for that right now if you'd like. So with the fact that it's relatively easy to host our in-person training online, you just need your video conferencing tool, you'll need a strong internet connection, and most of all, you'll need patience. I'm sure you've sat through a few online meetings where people can't seem to figure out how to use that mute button. So we will go over on Thursday tips, tricks, etiquette, and how to schedule and host your meetings online. So again, register for that. Now the link should be in the comments. We often receive questions regarding pricing. So you receive a 40% savings when you're purchasing wholesale. And then you can set the retail price as you see fit. We recommend that you charge enough to cover the cost of the materials and your time, and of course, take into account your local market when setting those prices. To give you some reference, again, here at our national headquarters in beautiful sunny Salinas, California, we sell our 60-hour qualifying education course for $4.99. And so it's important to remember that you're offering a track to a new lucrative career when you're setting your price. And a little bit about taking payment. As far as processing payments from your students, many tax schools accept half the fees ahead of time in order to reserve the seat for the student or the spot. And then the remainder is then paid on the first day of class. We generally don't recommend payment plans as they tend to go south sometimes and can leave you in the lurch. So rather, you can invite the student to class to attend the meeting, but don't give that student access to their online portal or any textbooks or materials until you get that final payment. So everything's a-okay. And it's up to you. Determine which method will work best for you and your students. And on the screen, you see a little, it looks like Google Maps. This is actually a tool. It's our national instructor map that you can find on our website, latinotaxpro.com. And when you join our program as an instructor, your tax school gets listed here on this tool. So students can look you up, find live training in your area. And also, you can use this tool to your advantage. You can see, type in your zip code and see which tax schools are currently operating in your area and get an idea of competition and market value that way. So again, this is our national instructor map on latinotaxpro.com. So there are many ways to market and recruit students for your class. But one of the best ways is to recruit straight from your client base. So during tax season, we still have a little bit of time left, attach flyers to the tax returns, hang posters, and have inquiry cards for those that are interested. You'll be surprised at how many people know of someone who is interested in starting a new career or becoming a tax professional. Also, social media is a fantastic tool to promote your upcoming class. It gets the word out fast, quick, free, pretty much. So the earlier you start your marketing campaign, the more inquiries you receive, and then hopefully the more students you will attract. As far as target marketing goes, you'll want to market your class towards perhaps early retirees, college students studying business who need some part-time work, some experience. See if there's people with complementary seasonal or part-time employment. You can also target blue-collar workers seeking to break into a more white-collar profession on a part-time basis, and unemployed professionals looking for a new career. We will send you a beginning marketing package, which includes posters for your office that you can see here on the slide, that orange Tax Training Center poster. We'll send you flyers for your clients and inquiry cards to pass out during tax interviews. So you can start marketing now by hanging up those posters behind workstations, leaving inquiry cards at the reception desk, and passing out flyers to clients. Fun fact, we have never actually advertised for students. We've always made our tax school here at headquarters available to our clients. And let's talk about planning a course. So when you're planning your course, oftentimes a syllabus is what you go off of. It's both a document about the course content, goals, and elements, as well as a guide for students to understand the kind of teaching and learning they can expect from the course. And this overall structures your course. Typical syllabus elements include your information, your contact information, a course description of the purpose, what the student will learn, learning goals and outcomes, and then any reading or materials, resources that they'll need. The syllabus is a good place for you to put any course policies and expectations. Let's say you have an attendance policy where they can't miss more than 3 sessions. You'll want to put that there, anything like that. So as you're planning out your course and thinking of how to run your tax school, ask yourself if you're looking to offer weekend classes, evening or morning classes. How long do you want your sessions to be? Do you want 1 or 2 hours, 3 hours? Are you looking to meet twice a week or 3 times a week? It's best to look over the course materials to determine the best way to pace your class. But also when you join our instructor program, you don't have to worry about the hassle or the time and effort to create these syllabi, these pacing guides. We have done that for you already. Our instructor guide has examples of syllabi to work off of, as well as several sample pacing schedules, or essentially a time frame for this from the beginning to the end of your course. So we have all that for you provided in the program. So the instructor materials that you would receive with our program, you get our curriculum, which could be bilingual, English and Spanish. You'll receive the syllabus and lesson plans. You'll even receive quiz keys, I believe the answers. Sign-in sheets and necessary handouts, those kind of organizational tools for the first day you'll have access to. And you'll also get your Prendo 365 dashboard. So the Prendo 365 dashboard is your online portal that I'm going to explain more in a moment. As a matter of fact, the next slide. So in addition to the materials we provide, of course, you will need some internet access. And then if you're in class, if you're hosting your live meetings, you'll want the physical space. But if you're not doing that, if you're social distancing, you'll also need your video conferencing provider, such as Zoom or Skype, whichever you choose. And in addition to the materials that you get in the program, you'll want a way to assess student performance so that you can keep your students on track for successful completion of the course. This could be a pretty daunting task, but for those in our instructor program, your online dashboard is an easy way to get to track your students' performance at a glance. So here you can see a little picture of our learning management system, Prendo365.com. So with teaching, there must be a way of tracking the performance of your students. You can track students the old-fashioned way on pencil and paper. You can invest in your own software, or you can utilize the tools we have ready for you on our learning platform, Prendo365.com. So going to the website is where you will access your online instructor portal and dashboard, which allows you to track that student progress. You can pull reports, reports, and you can be able to pinpoint areas of need for struggling students so that then you could help them out and get a better quality of instruction overall. And this is a great tool to inform your hiring as well, seeing the progress and performance of your students data-wise. And then this is just giving you a little preview of the dashboard. This is your data visualization. You can see complete reports on student progress, the overall progress of your training site, and then there's other reports that you can access easily as well. As far as student material goes, first and foremost, they need the curriculum. When teaching a tax class, you can research the entire tax code and create the curriculum yourself, or you can use a current provider of tax education, such as Latino Tax Pro. The curriculum should include an overview of the Form 1040, along with scenarios of possible encounters with clients during tax season. Real-world examples are key to really understanding how tax law applies to taxpayers. With Latino Tax Pro, part of our curriculum includes review questions and practice tax returns. Our hybrid training system allows the students to self-study at home and then have hands-on live training in the classroom. But again, as I mentioned, we can go fully virtual to accommodate for social distancing and staying healthy. Oh, and so the course, each course, the ebook is standard through the website, and then there is a textbook available for purchase. So let's talk about the first day. The first class of any course is probably the most important meeting because it sets the tone. The success of the entire class can sometimes rest on that first impression. So you'll want to arrive ready to teach and begin class on time. Of course, you'll want to introduce yourself, give a little bit of background, your areas of expertise. You'll want to confirm student registration and make course objectives clear, review the syllabus and class rules. I would encourage you to encourage your students to network and collaborate and work together if needed, or form study groups, and encourage questions. And to do all that kind of first day paperwork organization stuff, taking payment, registering students, we recommend having an assistant. It's really helpful to have somebody assisting you with those little things so you can get straight to the teaching. But of course, it's not mandatory. If you can do it on your own if need be. Just one of those little things that improves the overall quality of the course. So as we talked about earlier, one of the primary reasons your training is to provide a consistent pool of qualified entry-level tax preparers to staff your tax office, because you will grow. So when you're having your class in your tax school, you'll want to observe your students for employment suitability. Take a look at their attendance record. Are they coming in class on time? How do they look? Are they participating? What's their attitude? Are they positive? Are they helpful? Are they asking questions? Are they inquisitive? All those sorts of qualities and characteristics. The individuals you hire should be those who are motivated to become tax professionals and not just someone who's looking for a way to make easy money. And then, of course, at the end of the course, you can determine who would be a great fit for you and your company, and then give them the formal interview and hire if you see fit. So our instructor program with Latino Tax Pro is $597. In the program, in this package, you get your instructor training and support. We'll train you how to use Prendo 365, we'll let you know how the program works in detail. You also get a physical instructor guide that has all of the lesson plans and necessary handouts. All the informational stuff on how you want to actually teach your school is in that guide. You also get your instructor portal on prendo365.com, where you will manage your students, access their course data, and that's also where the students will get their certificate of completion when they finish the course successfully. Part of the instructor program, you're granted the wholesale pricing for the prices of the course that you have to buy for each student. So the instructor has their portal as an instructor, but then each student needs to have access to their student portal. So you'll have, excuse me, the wholesale pricing is referring to the student portals. You'll get the course lesson plans and our startup marketing materials, posters, flyers, inquiry cards. You'll receive either the tax prep for the 60-hour, in addition to a couple others, depending on whether you're in California or in another state. You'll receive updates as well. And then the program is good for 1 year from the date of sign up. And then every year after that, you'll be able to get your renewal rate at half off. You'll be getting it, I believe, for $299. So with that said, thank you so much for joining me today. You can call or text us at 866-936-2587 if you'd like any more information on the instructor program, or if you have any other questions for us, we'd be happy to guide you on that. Also, connect with us on social media. We're at Latino Tax Pro to get the latest news and updates. And again, I want to plug Thursday's webinar. Please join me on Thursday for how to operate your tax school during a pandemic, which is how to virtualize your training center. You'll be able to find the registration link in the comments. And have a great day. Thank you so much.